Hey guys, this is Introducing Emmy, and we're going to do a SketchUp tutorial, Google SketchUp, which is a computer modeling 3D model thingy program for, it was made by Google. So let me see, where can I start here? Okay, so I'm going to show you how to take a model and use it in your drawings. And you can get this program, I forget the exact link, I'll probably put it up on the screen or put it down in the description, but go to Google, type SketchUp, they'll give you a SketchUp. Alright, so when you take a model in, this is what it's going to look like. It's going to be a bed. Well, it's not going to be a bed, but mine's going to be a bed. This is a bed. And let me show you the drawing that we're going to be doing here. I just did this sketch really quick. It's just going to be a chick on a bed. I'm not going to do the entire drawing, but this is just to give you an idea. So let's pretend you're doing a comic, and in the comic is a chick on a bed, and you're going to have to show this bed from multiple angles over and over and over. Now there's a few different ways to go about doing this. One is you can go and get a lovely model from the Google SketchUp warehouse. I don't know. I'll also put the link up. It's sketchup.google.com/3D warehouse. I believe if you type warehouse into google.com, it's going to be like the first or second thing that comes up because Google owns the world. So you can either go and get a model like this. This was made by Yamina. Or I can show you a different way to do it. But let me just, using this model, let me show you an example here. So when you pull it in, it's most likely going to be textured. Okay? We don't want it to look textured. So what we're going to do here is go to Window, Styles, and you're going to get a whole bunch of different styles options, like style sets, from clicking the drop-down menu. Let me go to Assorted. Wait, not Assorted. Let me go to In Model. And that will tell you exactly what it's using, but we don't want what's there. So let's go down to let's just do default. Okay, so this is actually okay. You'll in the default styles there will be one called Hidden Line. It's in the second row, second column. And that actually is okay. It looks like a sketch, actually, now. It's something that we can work over in Photoshop. And if you like that, that's great. Also, real quick, go to View and say, unclick Axis to get rid of those annoying axis lines. We don't need those right now. So if you're fine with this, if you're happy with this, oh, and I just noticed this ball. It's a little off. It's bothering me. Hold on. Why is this off? Why are you off? What are you doing? Stop it. Huh. Alright, well, whatever. I'll just leave it. That ball is, like, sunk down lower than the others. Anyway, so if you're happy with this, you can go to File, Export, 2D Graphic. Let's put it on my desktop. And before you hit Export, go to Options. And you can either use the view size, which I don't recommend, or you can put in your own measurements. Now, if you want to get like really anal about it, you can go into Photoshop and see how big your drawing is and everything and like try to match it. I don't do that. I'm not that picky. What I do is I usually just give it like 5,000 or 6,000 width. I forget what the maximum is, but it's like in that ballpark, I think. Or maybe it's like, well, let me see. Let me try 10,000. Yeah, it's 999. So, 5,000, that's fine. And you can either say anti-aliased or alias. Now, you know me, I'm all about aliased work. However, with Google SketchUp, you could just barely see, but there's some white gaps in the lines around, and that's just due to like model depth and things like that. So if you leave it aliased, when it renders, you're still going to have those gaps. And it's just gonna make your image kind of fall apart once it comes into Photoshop. So check anti-alias, okay? Just do it. Just listen to Mommy Emmy or else I'll smack you. Okay, so hit OK and then hit Export. You're gonna see a little render window pop up. Maybe. If I don't freeze my program here. Okay, it didn't pop up. I've noticed it hasn't been popping up, but usually I think it'll render real quick. You'll see some bars go across. But anyway, so then let's open our document, and that should be, I even forget what I called it now. There it is. I gotta clean off my desktop. Alright, so there's our model. I actually got the angle kind of off, but you know, just go with it. It's okay. I'm just trying to give you an idea of what you can do with it here. So we're going to hit Control A, which will select the entire image, and we'll say Control C, and we'll paste it over our old image. Hit Multiply so that we can see both the, let me just turn down the sketch a little bit, we don't need it quite that bright. Alright, so now we have our bed, and we have our sketch, and then we're going to select our bed layer, and we're just going to try to size it down here by hitting Control T. Just try to get it close. This is very far off. You'd probably want to like actually look at your sketch before you bring it in. Alright, now from here there's a few different ways you can go about working with this. You can either use your magic wand tool and say excuse me. What do I want to do here? Oh, you want to uncheck contiguous. Sorry. I just woke up, so I'm trying to think what I'm talking about. So anyway, click in your white, and that will select all the white and not the black, and then hit delete. So now we're just left with our black lines, and then from here you can go to double click on your, I'm like actually just doing it without talking about it, and I need to stop doing that. But double click on your line layer, your model line layer, and go to stroke. And if you watch any of my other tutorials, you know I use stroke basically 24/7. And say center, cover up some of our crummy other lines, and we'll just make that like 5 so you can really see the model. Now I don't really recommend doing this because you know what it looks like? A model. It looks like a model, and we don't want that. However, this is an okay thing to do if you just want to be able to see your lines a little better, because they do come in pretty thin. And I'll show you a different way to do that in a minute here. But, so now we got this. Let's make it green. So now what we could do, and what I highly, highly recommend doing, is draw over the model. So, you know, let's, you know, maybe I don't want those pillows there. So, like, maybe I want a neat bed. I don't want a pile of pillows on the middle of my bed. So, just, you can draw over it. This is a good way to, practice doing, drapery. Maybe I want, you know, like, really big ugly knobs on my bed. I tell you what, girls, I do not like big ugly knobs. Fix that! No, I'm kidding. Maybe I want a hole right there. Maybe I want some junk under the bed. I mean, it's better to take it away from the model. You don't want the model to do your creative thinking. And trust me, on Google Warehouse, you can find a bajillion models. You could probably find exactly what you're thinking of. But very rarely do I actually find exactly what I'm thinking of. Which is okay. That's good. It means I'm not doing the most obvious thing, but maybe I'm doing the worst thing. Maybe I'm choosing the ugly thing. So do your mattress. See, that's a perfect example right there. See how that's really square? Mattresses don't look like that. You want to round that off. Just like that. Happy little mattress. So, you know, just take it away from the model. Have fun with it. Set your bed on fire. Don't set the rain on fire, though. That would burn. Okay, so anyway, this is one way to take it away from the model. You'd want to go over the whole thing, have your sketch done, and then From there, you can take it into, Manga Studio, or hell, just leave it in Photoshop and go over it again for your inking and whatever. But you definitely don't want to just leave it the raw model, because it's so easy to spot when people do that. Okay, so let me show you what else you can do here. So, remember how we took it into Photoshop and we put the stroke line around it so that we could actually see the model that we were working with? Do you remember that? You better, because we did it like 3 minutes ago, and if you've already forgotten, these tutorials are for naught, because you're going to forget all of it. So what we're going to do is we're going to go into our style window again, and under the rendering sets, or whatever you want to call these things, the style sets, we're going to go to Sketchy Edges, okay? And this is so cool. I think this is probably the coolest thing about this program. You can click on sketchy stuff. I mean, you can just go through and you can just find one that you like, you can be like, I mean, there's just tons of these. I could spend hours just being like, ooh, look at all of them. Now, you're going to notice one thing right away. You can no longer see the spheres on the bedposts. For whatever reason, this program just does not like rendering spheres. This program was originally designed for Google Earth to make the models on the Google Earth sets, or I'm not even sure how you would describe them, but if you've ever used Google Earth, you know what I'm talking about. They have those kind of like 3D buildings that pop up and stuff, and they were trying to make a program that was a little more easier for any Joe Schmo to pick up off the street and, go down to his local 7-Eleven, pick up GoogleSketchup, make some fucking buildings, and, whatever. You get what I'm saying, though. So, if you know anything about Google Earth, there's no spheres. It's all squares and boxes and stuff. So, a lot of times, the render styles have trouble rendering, curves and spheres and things like that. So that is something to be mindful of if you're, like, really wanting to see the spheres in a design, or the rounded edges in a design. So, I actually like this one. I just picked it randomly. I like that one. We're going to do that one now. So we're going to do it again. Go to Export, 2D Graphic. Let's say this is number 2. Don't freeze. Don't you freeze on me. You're freezing on me. I'm panicking. Okay, it's okay. Whew. I don't know why, but it's ever since I updated it, it's been freezing on me a lot. Alrighty, so now you can see it's all sketchy and everything. Do the same pattern again. Select all, paste it in there. Now, I actually prefer porting stuff in with sketchy filters on, because it forces you to have to work over top of it. And also, if any bit of the model render is left in, it blends in a lot better and you can't tell that you were drawing over top of a model. And that brings me to another thing. A lot of people are probably like, oh, I mean, you should just draw the bed. And I do draw the bed. However, when you're on cramped deadlines, you need to be able to produce your work a lot. And especially if you're doing comic books, and you have to draw the same bed over and over and over. Now, I don't really like working over top of very detailed models like this. I mean, to me, this is a lot of detail. There's very specific things about this bed. There's curved baseboards, and there's, spheres or whatever. I don't like drawing over something that specific. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to show you how to kind of make your own bed, your own sets that are open for you to draw over top of. Okay, so let me save that. Okay, so here's our bed. Again, the bed. And I'm just going to get rid of these axes. They really drive me nuts. Alright, so real quick, I'm going to go over the tools that we're going to use to make our own bed. So, the first tool is the push and pull tool. This is a tool I use the most. And I'll show you. I mean, it does basically what it says. It pushes and it pulls a face, or a plane in any direction that you want. The only thing it doesn't work on is spheres. Again, Google SketchUp doesn't really like spheres. This is the move tool, rotate. I think this is offset. I don't really use offset. These are the visual rotation tools, either to rotate it in space like that. This is to move it around your screen. This is to pan in. This recenters everything. See how it's kind of like a magnifying glass with like centering marks on it. Do you see that? Do you see? Do you see? I sound like the red dragon. So anyway, so there you go. Those are the tools I work with the most. Excuse me, I have a slightly stuffed up nose. Gulp. And then along the side here, the other tools we have are the rectangle tool, the circle tool, which is different from the sphere tool, and the polygon tool. I don't often use the polygon tool. This is the arc tool, which makes arced lines. This is the straight line tool, and this is a scribble. I don't ever use that, so we don't care about that. Alright, so we're going to do our own bed, and we're going to do it right next to this one. So, we're going to I'm trying to think how to say this. So we're going to select the rectangle tool, and we're going to hover it over one of the endpoints, like one of the furthest corners of our piece, okay? And you'll see that it says endpoint. It's like kind of selected it. Now I haven't clicked or anything. My hand is off the mouse. I'm just hovering over. Now slowly pull away, and you're going to see a dotted line coming from that endpoint. We're going to click. We're going to drag, and there we go. There's our bed. Now, it's not exact with that side, but that's okay. We don't care about that. We don't care, Emmy. Now, let's draw our baseboard. We're going to, is it the baseboard? The backboard? The headboard? These things. The front and the back. That stuff, okay? So, we're going to do that again. We're going to go to the endpoint. We're going to come down to measure. There's a rectangle. We're going to do it again right here. You know what? I'm just going to wing it now because I don't even care. I don't even care. So now comes the best part ever. The push-pull tool. Oh, and I should mention that the tools along the top are also found along the side. And, you know, I've kind of messed with the default menu layout, so it might look a little different than this, but, oh well. Okay, anyway, so we're going to now, you'll see when I hover the mouse over, it makes kind of a halftone pattern over the top, and we're just going to pull. We're pulling. We're clicking and pulling. We're holding down. We're pulling. We're pulling. Yeah, look at that. It's amazing. I'm telling you, this is going to be a bed. You're going to just wig out when you see how great it is. Bam! Just like that. Okay. Kick it up a notch. Alright, and then we're gonna pull in the middle. Just like that. Bed. You're going, Emmy, that's the shittiest bed I've ever seen. Shut up. We're just gonna draw some more squares here. That's not a square, Emmy. I'm sorry, I know. Just like that. Just like that. Okay. That's not square. Emmy! Emmy! There. Yeah, whatever. Okay. I'm just trying to give you guys an idea. So, here's our bed. Now, mind you, I'm using this one as an example, but you could model whatever you wanted. And this shape can be used for anything. I mean, any kind of bed you want. You could, maybe have more like decorative wire, or not wire, but like the steel frames from like the Victorian era, or you could go even higher and do some other decorative things. I mean, this is a really good stand-in for something for you to take into Photoshop and work with. Alright, so now we're going to go down, just like that. Actually, let's go I'll show you what I'm doing here. So now, take your rectangle tool. I'm just winging it. Just like that. Okay. And then take your curve tool. Click. And then click. And then go to your middle. And I'm not holding down. I'm just moving my mouse around. And go like that. Neat. Now, I am not a pinball wizard. I am not a SketchUp wizard. I am just giving you an idea of how to mess around with the program. Now right there I just deleted some of that excess polygons and lines and stuff, and we're going to take our push and pull tool again, and we're going to push, 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 push. We're giving birth to our model. It's gorgeous. It really is. There we go. So now you're on Emmy. You deleted a whole bunch of stuff. But look, check it out. From this angle, say for like that little missing bit, you don't even notice. And a lot of my models look like this. They're missing back polygons and stuff. We are not doing a computer animation. We are making stand-ins to use in our drawings. So that's a great looking stand-in, actually. That is amazing. I'm so impressed with myself. It's kind of uneven, but you know. So here's a good stand-in. So I'm not even going to save this, but this will give you an idea. So now real quickly, I'm going to show you some of my other hold on one second. I have to remember what folder they're all in. I should have looked at this before I started recording. Alright, so let me see here. Okay, so this is I have a character named Longus, and this is his apartment. Let me go to the wires. Alright. And this is what most of my models look like. This is a set that I use frequently. I actually visit his apartment quite a bit in my comic book, so it's nice to have this set already made. And what I normally, and you can see there, it's just all rectangle. What art? Get out of here! You're not going to Longus's apartment. Go away. So what I usually do is I start with a big rectangle on the floor, and I just, using the rectangle tool, I make more rectangles inside. And I just pull the walls up. And so this is a pretty good way to, you know, do stuff. Let me take the walls down a little bit. So, you know, this is his bed. He's got a reading light. This is a radiator in the back. He has a TV in the corner and a little table with no chairs. He's an alien. He doesn't sit. Aliens don't sit. Anyway, he has a little end table. This is his kitchen, which he never uses. This is the microwave on the counter. There's a closet right here that there would be a door right there. But I usually pull the walls down if I'm not using them. You know, if I'm not drawing them. He has 3 windows along the back. There's his bathroom and one other closet. This is a New York City apartment, I should mention. It's very, very tiny. So, yeah, and this was all done pretty quickly. Probably it only took me an hour or 2 to do, actually. But again, this is the kind of stuff you want to use. If you need a really detailed model and you absolutely have to work from it, I would really, really highly recommend crediting the people that you're using the models from. Some of them have different policies on that, though. Some people, you know, don't care if you credit them or not. Any of you who've used stock images for any of your drawings or whatever, you know how all that works. So, so yeah, this is basically the end of the tutorial, I guess. I can't really think of anything else to say or do. If you have any questions or you want me to elaborate on something more, let me know, and I will do. And I think that's it. All right, goodbye.